So my name is Ruby Chacon.
My name is Alex Johnstone.
Benjamin Wiemeyer.
My name is Chuck Landvetter.
John Bell.
My name's Emily Plew, and I'm a contemporary painter.
I got one rule in my studio, that is if you start to develop a rule, kind of a fixed way of doing things, break it immediately. So I'm always challenging myself that way, and when you invited me to do this and described what it was, I thought, well, there you go.
The reason I wanted to participate in the Face-Off was a lot of the time artists who had not met before to create what became a beautiful collective piece of work.
I think the current trend, as I see it, in art locally as well as globally, is definitely moving away from the gallery. And I think the Face-Off event and other events of its type kind of epitomize this transition.
I was really nervous, but at the same time, it was just the same thing I always do, only bigger. So in that case, it wasn't that, different.
I mean, every artist there was going for the prize. And there was that feeling of a race. And that was exciting too. That not only are you creating for, just the entertainment value, but you have a goal, and suddenly it's like this weird aesthetic, and you're trying to crowd please, and you're trying to like socialize, and you're trying to explain your whole method of thinking to the jury, and also, so it was like juggling a lot of different things.
At first I was a little worried because, artists can be with, temperaments and egos and, wanting to do what they do. But it really worked out fine. Risk of sounding cheesy. It was a little magic at first. I mean, I was really surprised at how well we kind of just weaved around each other and moved, and it was just, there wasn't much talking other than, we already had the idea. And I said, no more thinking, guys, let's just start.
When we started out, the weather was a little shady, and it was like, oh, it's gonna rain. And I think everyone was a little daunted by the fact that we had, less than 18 hours to produce this rather large piece of artwork. And a lot of teams were comprised of more than one person, so I was particularly daunted by the fact that, not only do I paint often and paint murals even less, but I was gonna have to do this thing solo and hopefully win.
When I saw like Galen and Ben just put these bold lines out there, I was like, and I had this more of a timid approach. I think I just kind of took from that. Not that I totally changed my style, but it was a fun experience where I felt like I could experiment a little bit.
Well, I didn't want something to be too scary on the wall and where it would frighten the kids. But what I wanted to do was refer to history, like the Mayan civilization and having the serpent on the wall. And then also the Statue of Liberty, which all the kids recognize that as being a symbol too.
I would say that it's kind of a synthesis of the things that I've been working on. It used some of the images that I had been working on up to that point of two kind of bright spots or objects either coming together or breaking apart.
I don't know. I was just trying to make something that was like impactful and kind of high energy, something kids get excited about or something that they may recognize. Animals are always seem like they kind of bridge that gap. Kids love animals.
Having an audience was very motivating because people would say a lot of really nice things that were going on, not mainly with my artwork, but in general, to have it open to the public. And the public really, really responded positively, and they liked being within that environment. And it was like being at a football game or a baseball game where they would comment and they would come up to you and they all had something to say.
My interest was to get the youth in our space that already used our space involved in getting outside of our space to do something publicly with other people that were organizing things. But also have the same process that we use in mural making, which is to kind of bring out the ideas and voices of our community and the artist to create a design.
There were the kids there that were rooting for you and were really engaged with the art itself, which was really kind of something I don't think I'd really experienced before.
I remember on the first day, the kids were still there, you know, because it was a Friday and the daycare was just getting out. And so I was feeling pretty good about myself because I had this kind of like group of kids who were like all, you know, between 5 and 10 years old, kind of looking at my owl as it was being created and being like, that's cool, man, you know? Can I have a spray can after you're done? I was like, no, sorry, your parents probably wouldn't appreciate that.
The best part, the absolute best part, was these 2 little girls that came over. And they had drawn me some, they had those little garage doors that they were doing over in the children's art area. And they had drawn them for me and had written on the back, to Emily, you know, we think you're great. And I just melted because like a 10-year-old girl, that's where I was. I've been there, and to have them come over and appreciate what I was doing was the best experience.
There's kids there, and so I had made a decision early on that I was going to invite a couple of them up. At one point, it was 1 every 10 minutes, every 20 minutes, and then I invited 2 or 3 at a time, and then 4. And when they saw that happen, you know, it was kind of like pulling your finger out of the dam. All of a sudden, I got kind of bum rushed by 20 kids at the same time, and they all grabbed their cans and literally erased the bottom third of the mural that we had created. I mean, in minutes, you know, the whole thing just went away, and I kept my calm, and I thought, well, you know, you asked for this, and this is what it's about anyway. It's to bring awareness to this, you know, this subject, or to the neighborhood house, so let them have some fun. I think it's fantastic to have that kind of response and energy, especially on 2 very rainy, bad weather days. I thought that the turnout was terrific, and I think people here are hungry for it. I really do. And I think that people, you know, like you and some other people in the community who are working to pull together the artists and pull together the public and get them in the same space at the same time is so crucial. And I think it's really good for us.